Doug and PA back with another video. So we have another black media member saying all sorts of bad things about our guy Deion Sanders. We support Coach Prime over here. If you guys don't remember, Deion Sanders was a head coach for Jackson State University up until the end of last year. He left Jackson State University after doing a really good job, went to University of Colorado, and it literally split black culture in half. So half of us are saying he should have did it, good for him, and the other half are women like Shalise Manza Young here, who wrote this article called "Here's a Problem with Deion Sanders Acting Like a Hero for HBCU Athletes." We support Coach Prime over here, but we're still going to see what the other side has to say. Before we do, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And let's get into this article. It says, "Not for nothing, but why should anyone care about Deion Sanders' opinion when it comes to how many HBCU players were chosen in this year's NFL draft?" Man, she comes out swinging, doesn't she? She gets right down to the point. "It's been clear for a very long time that Sanders' first and perhaps only goal is getting attention for himself. So maybe it's not just the NFL that should feel ashamed, as he believes it should, for having only one HBCU player. Jackson State's Isaiah Bolden, selected in the 7 rounds of last weekend's draft." That's quite the sentence, isn't it? Wow. "Maybe I should feel a little shame that I'm providing some of the attention he so clearly seeks at all times." Man, the salt in this woman's writing, the salt. But Sanders left the HBCU football team he was coaching for the first Power 5 job that was offered to him, with a perennially basement-dwelling Colorado program that promised him a contract at a salary its athletic director admitted it didn't even have to offer at the time of his signing. Given that, his opinion on anything HBCU related is a lot like the ex who didn't want to stick it out through the tough times having an opinion on your new significant other. It's no longer your business, sir. You made your choice. So she's trying to say that because Deion Sanders, who did great things for Jackson State University, won 2 back-to-back championships in their conference, just because he went to the University of Colorado, he can't comment on HBCUs anymore? Let me know what you think about that. Come on. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to HBCUs and their athletic programs. Nuance that many people don't care to learn. First and foremost, when predominantly white institutions in the South that were staunchly segregated realized that ending their ban on black student athletes and integrating teams would lead to more wins, it led to a massive talent drain from historically black schools. That is true. PWIs could offer more enticements, better facilities, usually bigger stadiums, and over time, far more television exposure. By their very nature, born of the particular American stew of racism and capitalism, that means black people have by and large been left out of the generational wealth equation. PWIs have more deep-pocketed alums and donors, which lead to larger endowments, which means more spending. Adding the massive broadcasting deals mega conferences are signing, with some of the money headed to member schools, and some athletic departments are flush with cash. See, another super long sentence. All of this is 2 sentences. Where did this girl learn how to write? One thing I've noticed is this whole HBCU nuance thing. They want you to accept less. If you're a black player or you're a black coach, you're supposed to accept less for the culture. No, ain't happening. Guys, take your highly valuable skills, whether they be athletic, academic, social, and take them to the person or the organization that'll pay you the most amount of money for it. Always. Don't hold yourself back for the culture. This is 2023. Come on now. But even public PWIs have more money. Look no further than Tennessee, where both the University of Tennessee and Tennessee State and HBCU are land-grant colleges, and under the Second Morrill Act of 1890, we're supposed to receive federal money and have that money matched by state funding. And yet for decades, the state of Tennessee didn't just budget 75% of funds for UT and only 25% for TSU. It intentionally didn't give Tennessee State all of the reduced sum it was supposed to receive. A 2021 state audit found TSU was owed over $500 million in federally mandated funds. The school has been rubbing nickels together just to keep basic campus infrastructure intact. Building a state-of-the-art facility solely for football has been a pipe dream for years, though current head coach Eddie George is hoping that can change with the state beginning to repay what it owes to the school. I might have to look into this because I think I think I heard about this. I think that this was actually a court actually deemed that they're going to get this money, so that's a good thing. There's also the reality that for many historically black colleges, the central mission isn't athletic championships compared to some schools' self-image is seemingly tied solely to how highly its men's basketball or football team is ranked in the polls. For years, these schools have been havens for students, places where they aren't othered for their race and made to feel unwelcome or lucky to be there, and in a country where teaching the totality of American history, which includes the good of black achievement and the ugly of anti-black racism, is being banned at an alarming rate, is where you can learn the truth of their people. See, I don't agree with that at all, guys. I went to 2 PWIs. In fact, I didn't even know what that term was until I moved to the DC area in my 30s. I'm from the West Coast. I'm from Washington State. Okay, I went to 2 PWIs, as she would call them, and I never felt unwelcome. I never felt left out, and there were plenty of options to learn about Black history, Asian history, European history, all that stuff. So I have no idea what she's talking about. None. And just so you know, guys, only 10% of African American students go to HBCUs. So apparently, according to her, 90% of us aren't learning the truth about our people. Get out of here, man. Beyond that, the Division I HBCU schools play in the football championship subdivision, or what used to be I-AA. The NFL isn't really drafting kids from those schools. This year, there were only 10 FCS players taken out of 259 total, and over the past 4 drafts, only 41 from the FCS programs were selected. And with the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness now in play, many Power 5 programs can use FCS schools like minor league teams, tapping players to come up to the big leagues when they have their success at the so-called lower level. And as much as it pains me to give credit to the NFL for anything, it did help start a scouting combine for HBCU players in 2020. Also, she doesn't want to give the NFL credit for anything. That's hilarious. With all 32 teams represented at this year's event held at the New Orleans Saints practice facility, though it's fair to counter that, of course, all 32 teams attended because it looked bad if any chose not to do so. None of this is to say that HBCU football programs can't and don't produce NFL talent. They have and they do. Only one player was drafted this year, but 17 have been signed as undrafted free agents. As someone who has reported on the league for over 15 years, yeah, it sure doesn't sound like it. There are benefits to going undrafted and getting to sign with a team of your choosing. It can be better than being picked in the 6th or 7th round of the NFL draft because you may land in a better situation. Would you rather be an inside linebacker drafted by a team that already has 3 young athletic inside linebackers, or be a rookie free agent picking between 5 offers with 3 of those 5 teams in need of a young athletic inside linebacker? Okay, we're going to skip this Malcolm Butler thing. Back to Sanders. For all this alleged concern about HBCU players not being drafted, when he bolted Jackson State for Colorado earlier this year, he brought arguably his 2 most talented players with him, his son and quarterback Shadur Sanders and defensive back Travis Hunter. 6 other Jackson State players also transferred to Colorado. And why wouldn't they? Guys, I want you to go to YouTube and look up Deion Sanders' name, image, likeness and listen to that conference. It's some great stuff. Deion Sanders says all these players have to do is win, and I'll take care of the rest. I'll make them some of the most famous athletes in the nation as college players. All they have to do is win. When he poached those players from JSU, was Sanders actually concerned about the state of HBCU football? Sanders left Jackson State at the first chance he got, losing interest after 3 seasons and 2 SWAC title game losses. Yeah, but he didn't say that he wants them as well. The time for him to feign concern about block college football ended the day he bolted for Colorado. So let me say one thing about Shalise here. I've said it in my videos before. I'll say it again. Any hate towards Deion Sanders is purely emotional and not logical. Okay, we're the only community, the black community, once again, where we ostracize our best and brightest. Then our best and brightest, they go get highly valued skills. And then they're supposed to come back to our community and give those skills away for free. or for pennies on the dollar. Okay? Deion Sanders was making $300,000 a year as Jackson State University coach, and now he's making $5 million for University of Colorado. Come on, you guys. And then everything he's bringing with him, these are purely emotional arguments, not logical, and we're going to see a lot more of these articles, especially when the season starts in the fall. And I hope you subscribe to my channel so you can hear me cover all of it. Tell me what you think in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.